What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? And we are back. Happy Truck and Hustle Tuesday. Hustle fam, what's good? What's going on, y'all? Today we have a super dope show with my man Loshawn Parks. Shout to D Brown. I know you sitting there like, yo, you don't play no games, you don't waste no time. Nah, I don't. It's crazy interview with Loshawn Parks. If y'all don't know Loshawn, he's on YouTube, Trucking with Loshawn Parks. He is the owner of Parks Motor Group. Been in the industry for a minute doing his thing. He's a fleet owner, content creator, super cool guy, man. And we just go through his story and it is crazy. Like, y'all really got to sit back and listen to this, man. He went through so many ups and downs to get to where he's at now. Really inspiring, really cool dude, man. Really glad I got to connect with him. So that's that. Housekeeping items as always. One, make sure you are following all of our socials, Truck and Hustle, everywhere. Get on our YouTube, subscribe. We will be there shortly, updating with new content. Got a lot of things coming up. Keep on following the page. A lot of events coming up. I know y'all see what's going on. We making it happen, man. 2020 vision, y'all. So it's no time like the present, man. If y'all got dreams, let's get on them. I'm gonna keep on doing my job, keeping y'all motivated. Also, I need everybody, especially those who listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, to go over there right now and rate and review the show. Rate and review the show. We need those rates, reviews, those comments, to spread awareness on the show. When the more you rate, the more you review, Apple rewards you by showing the show to more people. So we need that. So please rate and review the show. And also, lastly, go over to truckandhustle.com, trucknhustle.com, and please put your email address in there. I have a newsletter and some information that will be coming out soon with all the updates. I want to get y'all emails so I can keep y'all updated, keep y'all posted on what's to come. I promise you, we got some big plans. All right? So, you know what time it is. Put your ears on, and if you smell something burning, it's only a desire. Let's go. What's up, y'all? This is Ramel Watley, and welcome to Truck and Hustle, the podcast for trucking entrepreneurs. If you want to learn about the trucking industry from the business side of things, you're in the right place. Every week, I interview the people who are making it happen on a daily basis. I get them to share their successes, their failures, and sometimes even their secrets. The goal is to show you how you too can create financial freedom in the booming trucking industry. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
And you ain't a real fleet owner if you don't own your trucks and have the titles free and clear. And I keep telling people, like, dog, the difference between me and them is I'm an entrepreneur. I don't care about ownership or none of that. It's all about the bottom line to me at the end of the day. I'm running a business. You know what I'm saying? I'm not running something to be owning 20 trucks. And then if I do go belly up, or if something goes wrong, I have 20 trucks I have to try to sell.
Turn my mic up. Take there. Yeah. On the road to the riches. Life takes a toll like bridges. Good friends become foes and snitches. Better watch who knows in your business. All right, so we are here with Loshawn Parks, the owner of Parks Motor Group. Also YouTuber. Do you identify as a YouTuber? Is it okay to call you that?
Content creator.
You know why? Because I always gotta ask, because everybody doesn't like the term YouTuber, but almost 40,000 subs on YouTube. Extremely transparent with your business. You are actually a guest that you come as a special request. I've been getting some DMs. People say, "Hey man, you got to reach out to Loshawn, get some of that game." So I appreciate you joining me today on Truck and Hustle, man.
Yeah, no doubt, for sure.
All right, cool.
Appreciate you having me.
No doubt. So let's get right into it, man. Let's start with the backstory. I always like to, get into my guest's backstory, find out how they got into this crazy world of trucking, man. Because this industry is only for the strong, man. It's like when you're in it, I want to know how you got here. So talk to me.
So basically, I fell into trucking because back in Charlotte, that's where I currently resided too. I was just driving a box truck around Charlotte, working for a produce company called Foster Cabinets. Not making that much money. We was probably making about $12 an hour, $11 an hour. And that time to me, it was okay. I was local. It was decent. I mean, the job was fairly easy. I had just previously left another produce company called Fresh Point prior to me coming over to this other company, which is, like I said, Foster Cabinets, which is the competitor to Fresh Point. But I was just driving box truck, delivering produce to major restaurants and stuff like that. And then just one day, one of my friends, my homeboy, that was delivering with me, he was like, we would see the trucks because the 18-wheeler truck come to our warehouse to deliver the produce for us to put on the box trucks to go deliver to the grocery stores,
right,
or to the restaurants. So we were just talking. We was like, man, one day it was crazy because it was a Stevens truck that was backed into the dock, and it was a Kenworth, and it was super fly. It was black with a red white, right? And we was like, oh, that joint crazy, that joint crazy. Like, it looked nice.
Yeah.
And then my homeboy was like, yeah, that's who's making all the money in trucking. Right? And he's like, that's what we need to do. We need to get a CDL and go do what they doing because they making bread. I'm like, so what kind of bread we talking? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a hustler. Okay,
right,
so I'm like,
right.
We talking bread. What type of bread we talking? So
okay,
he was like, yo, let's go over here and walk in and ask the driver what he's doing. So we walked over to the Stevens truck, and he opened the door, nice enough of him. He opened the door, and we was like, hey, how much, if you don't mind us asking, how much are you making? You know what I mean? And he was like, I'm making $1,500 a week. And we were just blown away because we're like, yo, that's like our paycheck in 2 weeks. You know
right.
So we're like, yo, what? He was like, yeah, that and even more. And sometimes if I run more miles, I'm like, yo, get out of here. So I was like, do you mind if I look inside your truck? You know what I mean? What it looked like? I always wanted to look inside one, but I never looked inside of a tractor before.
Okay.
He was like, yeah, sure, no problem. Hop on in. So he let me and my homeboy Jay get up in there. And when we got in there, I mean, we thought it was the tour bus of the world. We was like, yo, you got a bed in
there? That's crazy.
Crazy. So then that actually kicked it off to where we was like, all right, yeah, we need to go and get a CDL. So what our inspiration was off of that Stevens driver. But what we planned on doing was going together, since we lived in the same city of Charlotte, was going together to a trucking school and becoming a team because we lived in the same city, so we could have the same days off. And we was just thinking like, yo, we can make all the money. We can make all kinds of money.
Okay.
And things of that nature. Well, we ended up going to, at first we was going to go to Swift, and then we didn't end up going to Swift. We changed our mind, and I did a little bit more research. We went to Prime. And then when we got to Prime, me and him still had the same goal of teaming, but we ended up actually going different ways because I got picked up by a flatbed trainer and he got picked up by a reefer trainer. And then, so that's how we ended up doing different things.
Okay. Dope. So that's an interesting story. So pretty much you were driving a box truck. You didn't have the CDL at all. And you saw this big, semi truck pull up, and you're like, man, that's fly. And this is where the money's at. So you went with your man. Y'all got together. Y'all went to, what'd you say it was again?
We went to Prime.
Prime. All right. And y'all kind of end up separating ways. All right. So you get started your career there. So you learning, you training. Talk to me a little bit about that experience.
All right. So like I said, I came over to Prime with the aspirations of doing refrigeration because that's all I did when I was doing the produce. So I didn't know nothing about no other division. I just knew refrigeration.
Okay.
Well, the interesting part was I had this big guy named Dave walk up to me, and he was like, hey, are you Loshawn? I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right. Maybe.
Like, who are you? Right. Maybe. Who are you?
Right.
He was like, yeah, I was giving your name and I'm going to be your trainer. And I was like, okay, bet, let's go. I'm ready to roll. Let's get to the money.
Okay.
And he was like, you ever secured any equipment before? Like, nah, I mean, I ran off with some produce down the ramp to, deliver inside a restaurant. He was like, produce ramp? Refrigeration? I was like, yeah. He's like, nah, buddy, I do flatbed. I was like, okay, so what is that? He was
Right.
like, yeah, you got to get out in the weather and throw straps and blah, 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 blah. He was like, are you with it or not? You know, he came at me like, you with it or not? I'm going to go find somebody else. I was
aggressive.
Like, right. Now
Yeah.
I'm looking around and I see a class full of other students that's waiting on reefer trainers. And there's like 60 of them that's sitting there in the classroom. And I'm like, so if I tell this man no, then it's gonna prolong me from being able to get my my training that I need done.
Got you.
And I'm about a bag, so I'm trying to go and get my money. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming into this situation already, you know, not making a whole lot of money already as it was doing the box truck.
Right.
So I'm like, yo, I'm ready. Let's go. I was like, forget it. I'll just learn whatever this is that you got. He was like, great. Let's go. So, you know, we went to his truck and I got some great training through that. And I started doing that and I did flatbed for 5 years from that point on out after.
Okay. So you're doing flatbed for 5 years. Okay. So at what point did you transition from company to becoming an owner operator and starting your own thing?
All right. Good question. A lot of people think that I started out as a company driver, and this is interesting too, because I was going to go and be a company driver for Prime when I first came in. That was I didn't know nothing about no leasing. I didn't know nothing about like being an owner operator, nothing. All I knew was I was a company man because I left another job that I was a company man at. So all these extra terminologies like leasing, owner operator, like, yo, what is that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Yo, just cut me a check. You know what I mean? That's all I thought. Everybody's a company driver. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I got on the truck on my phase with my other trainer who was training me at Prime because Dave taught me how to get my CDL. That was his whole point, was to get me my CDL and get me a certain amount of miles. And then he cut me loose to another individual who was going to train me basically on my job, on basically how to get to shippers and receivers and stuff like that. So my next guy that I got with, his name is Mike, which me and him still is like brothers to this day because he taught me a lot. I was on the truck with him. He was a company driver. And it was an unfortunate situation. His grandfather was about to pass. And he asked dispatch if they could get him home just so that he could see his grandfather, because his grandfather was like a father figure to him. He was the only man in his life that he knew, and his grandfather was passing.
Okay.
Well, when I'm on that truck with that man, dispatch says, we will try to get you home. And I was just like, try. Your grandfather, the basically the father figure of your life is passing away, and you want to get there, and they're basically not doing it for you.
Yeah.
And I sat there and seen the dispatcher tell him, all right, take this load here, take this load here, take this load here, take this load there, take this load there. And we did every load that dispatcher asked. And while we're in the middle of doing a load, and he should have been home 2 days ago, his grandfather ended up passing.
Wow.
And, you talk about sitting there and watching a man just break down into tears. You know what I mean? It was like, all I wanted to do was just say my last goodbye to my grandfather. And this company couldn't get him home in time. And he gave them well enough, like 4 days in the notice to get him home. And they still avoided from getting him home. Right. When I seen that and I seen the tears in that man's face and him stop the truck and just like boo-hoo on the steering wheel, I was just like, this can't be me. You know what I mean? If something happens with my family, I have to get home. I want to be in control of it. And I'm not going to have somebody that's sitting at a desk tell, I'm not going to get you home or run this extra load. So then once that happened, I started looking into leasing.
Okay.
And then that's where the leasing portion comes in to play it.
Okay. So talk to me a little bit about leasing, man. Like how was your experience getting started with leasing? How'd you feel about it then as, and compared to how you feel about it now? You know what I mean? What have you learned?
All right. So my first lease, my first time with Prime, or when I had my first lease with Prime, fresh off of Mike's truck, I went, like I said, jumped straight off of his truck of training and went into leasing. So I got on what was supposedly said was the best dispatcher's board for flatbed leasing. So I'm on his board. So I'm thinking like everybody's giving him big ups. It's time to get some money.
Okay.
So I get on there, I take my first couple of loads, and in the first 3 weeks of Prime, they don't take no truck payment, right? So my first paycheck I see is exactly what the Stevens guy was talking about. First paycheck was like $1,600. I was like, balling.
Right.
Yeah, I was like balling, right?
Yeah.
But what ended up happening is the next 2-3 checks after that, like $400.
Pulled the rug out from under you.
Whoa, right.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yo, like this is, I could make more than this back at the house. That's how I was looking at it.
Right.
But then I was like, you know what? Well, maybe it's just my communication, or maybe it's just because I'm a newbie, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And I need to get used to the ropes, and I don't know what I'm really doing. So I was like, I'll give it a grace period with this dispatcher of a couple of weeks and see if anything changes.
Okay.
Well, I gave it a couple of weeks, and the checks, I was starting to get negative. Okay, I wasn't starting to make no checks. Okay. And now with me not making no checks, I'm getting frustrated because I'm like, yo, I got child support. You know what I'm saying? I got stuff I gotta handle. Like and child support don't accept, or the the baby mama, for lack of better words, don't accept that I ain't make no bread. Like,
right. That's a fact.
Who you talking to? You know what I'm saying? So she's looking like, who you talking to? So, what ended up happening is, after 3 additional weeks, me and him just wasn't clicking together. We wasn't making no money. So I asked Prime to give me a change of dispatcher. I changed dispatchers. I went to another guy named David Peterson, and me and him, he was a new dispatcher. So when I heard new dispatcher, I'm like, oh, that's dope. Because what I can do is, with him being a new dispatcher, I can build a rapport with a new guy. Mm-hmm. Me and him both being new, I could build a rapport and kind of like get in on his good side. It's not like it's somebody who's already been established and has his favorites already. And then,
right.
It's going to take a long time. So
right.
When I found out that he was a new dispatcher, I just, started rubbing elbows and just trying to get up there on the top of his list. Well, eventually, over a few months, I did. I started being one of his top drivers, and he would give me good loads, and he would make sure that we hit the right amount of revenue, and I stayed like that. And then I went on to be a trainer for Prime. And once I started training, then that's when the money really started to flow in. And then when the money flowed in from me training, I actually told my wife to come get on the truck with me. Let's team drive. Now, my wife, here's the interesting thing, right? My wife is a nurse. Okay. My wife is a registered nurse.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm telling her to leave what she's gone to college for, where she has a good job back at home here in Charlotte, making good money. I'm like, yo, pump all of that.
Yeah.
We can make more money doing this. You know what I'm saying? Just leave it alone for a year. And I say, if you make the ultimate sacrifice for me, if you come out here on the road with me for a year, let me train you, let me get you your CDL, then I will buy you a house. You know what I mean? Because at that point in time, we were staying in an apartment.
Okay.
So she was like, wait, what? House.
Right. You know right. So, all right. We make it work something out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
I hear a house and cars, and okay, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
So she got out here on the road with me. I trained her, got her CDL, got her certified. She knocked out all the back of maneuvers. I mean, my wife was doing the maneuvers better than I was when I was truck driving. And I was like, yo, how are you grasping this so easy? But it's interesting because women grasp trucking better than men do. And a lot of people probably will see as subjective. But with me training my wife, a woman who never driven a stick a day in her life,
right? Never
driven 18-wheeler,
right?
A big semi truck, to take to it like that, I was like thrown away, because I'm like, yo, I drove trucks before, I've been driving a semi before you, and she aced her test in like one day, like boom, hit every maneuver. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. So women truck drivers are a lot more careful, a lot more. Men, I know they're gonna hate me for this. Better drivers. I'm just sorry. This is what it is.
Yo, listen, I'm gonna go on record with you and agree with you, brother. I'm gonna go on record and agree with you with that, man. We together. If they gonna hate you, they gonna hate me too. You know what I mean? They gonna hate us. That's a fact.
Right. Super fact. So then my wife, we just teamed together for a year. We made good money, and after a year, she was like, you know what? You the real MVP. It's been a year. I can't do this no more. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Let's go get my house. You know what I mean?
Right. She committed. She did her year. She fulfilled her commitment, and now she's ready for the house, ready to move on.
Right.
Yeah.
She's ready for the house and ready to move on. She wanted to get back to the kids too. So that was another big factor, is that she missed the kids.
Okay.
So and I appreciate her for that, because that's a strong woman. Not many women would leave their career field, especially in nursing, come be a truck driver. and to see what we go through every day. You know, it wasn't so much as like come get the money, but it was more so of so come out here and see the lifestyle that I live.
Right.
Understand, you know, the business. Understand like what I go through being away from y'all. Understand what we go through on a daily basis. And
Yeah.
she did that. And it was crazy because after she did that, she gained more respect for truck drivers in the trucking industry and for what I do excuse me.
Right, right. No doubt, no doubt. All right, so you talked about your relationship with the dispatcher, the new dispatcher. I want to just kind of expound on that a little bit. What do you look for in a dispatcher? What are some of the qualifications, and what are some of the things that you like to just what are you looking for in a good dispatcher?
To me, a good dispatcher is a person who is communication. Communication is key, first and foremost. You know what I mean? If there's no communication, then it's going to be a debacle going
Right.
on between the two of y'all. You know, y'all are never going to get on the same page. Y'all are never going to make good money together. The next thing is understanding. You know what I mean? Understand that I need to be home on this certain day when I tell you I need to be there. If you need to get me there a day early, I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? But let's try not to be a day late. You know what I
Right.
mean? If we can, by all means necessary, avoid that. Also, it takes that the dispatcher understands you, once again, understands you, and then in the same return, you have to understand the dispatcher. Some days, freight is not going to be everywhere. You know what I mean? Or some
Right.
days it's going to be slower from shippers that are shipping and receivers that are receiving, and you just have to understand it, and it's a take. So to me, with a dispatcher, I'm looking for the give and take relationship where it's not so much as I'm giving, and you taking, or you telling me, and I'm supposed to be the one listening. It needs to
Right.
go both ways. We need to have a two-road street here with a great line of communication.
Right, right, no doubt. What type of freight do you look for? What type of loads are you looking for? As far as rates, like what do you look for as far as that's concerned?
All right, so now when I was with Prime, I didn't really I didn't really choose when I was at Prime. The dispatcher, basically, they give you a load, you look at the rate. If you like the little rate that's on there, then you know you take it. But what I came to do, I did a little experiment, right?
Okay.
So for a week, I ran the loads basically how I wanted to run them. I would look at the number. If I didn't like the number, I reject the freight. I'll wait for you to send me another load, right?
Okay.
And I did okay with that. But like I said, I was doing an experiment for a week. So then I finally was like, all right, so that week was over. Now let me compare it to if I take every load that he gives me, will I make more money?
Okay.
So I did that experiment. I didn't argue with him. I didn't turn down no loads. I took every load that he gave me for a week.
Okay.
And believe it or not, I made more money by taking the loads that he gave me than the loads that I was sitting there cherry picking and penny pinching and trying to figure out which one was the better one because this one was a little bit more. And the reason why I come to find out that I need more money is because me as a driver, I can't forecast what is ahead. So for instance, when I say I can't forecast, I can't see what shippers in the areas that I'm going to is shipping out or how many loads they have coming out of there and going
Right.
where and to what receiver. So, but the dispatcher, he can see that. He can see how many loads is coming out of this area the next day or the day after, or what shippers are shipping and what shippers aren't shipping, how much they're shipping out. So when I would sit there and try to penny pinch which ones and say, oh, that's not enough money, I ain't going there. I'd rather go down here to Florida. When he could see like, damn, you go down there to Florida, buddy, it's like another 20, 30 trucks sitting down there waiting to get loaded. You're going to make, you're going to fall in line behind them. So it may
Mm.
be 2 or 3 days before I can get you out of there. But yeah, I
Mm.
want to take the load to Florida because I want to go down to Miami. You know what I'm saying? I want to go
Right.
get some sunshine. I want to look at some beach. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, and it doesn't make it doesn't make dollars to do that. So
Okay.
the reason why I said that I made more money by allowing him to do his job and I do my job. My job is to drive this truck, deliver the load, make money. His job is to give me the best possible load, keep my truck running.
Mm.
So when I found out that I did my job and I allowed him to do his job, I made more money.
Okay. Okay. Dope. That makes sense. All right. So let's kind of catch back up to where we're at as far as in your career. So the last thing you said, your wife got off the truck, right? She stayed on with you for a year. Then she went back to doing her nursing. You got the
Mm-hmm.
house, right? Everything's good there, all squared away, deal fulfilled.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what was next after that? Talk a little bit about that.
All right. So what was next after that was I once my wife got off the truck, I kept on training. So I ended up doing probably about 5 students, trained them out, training them through. made made the best money in trucking that I've ever made was training, with period, like hands down.
Okay.
So I always tell everybody, even on my channel to this day, if you're gonna go to Prime and you want to lease a truck, go there and train. It is phenomenal money, and I understand everybody has this. I don't want nobody in my truck. Well, listen, you ain't trying to get to a bag. Like, I don't know what to tell you. You're not trying to get to a bag. If you're trying to get to the most money in trucking, or specifically at Prime, is to train. Period.
How much do they pay you to train?
Oh man,
let's talk about
I'll tell you like this. Let's talk about it. I was doing flatbed, right? I was training flatbed because, like I said, my first 5 years at Prime was flatbed. So I was training flatbed, which is I would say the least cared for division at Prime, right? So Prime has 3 different divisions. They have flatbed, tanker, and then they have refrigeration. Now, the owner of Prime, which his name is Rob Lowe, his bread and butter is refrigeration. Okay, he has more refrigerated trailers than the other trailers that he has available, and it's the largest division. So I was in the smallest division, well, next to tanker. I think tanker is the smallest, and then flatbed is next, but we're pretty much neck and neck. So with me training doing flatbed, it was nothing for me to take home after paying my student, because I had to pay my student too, even though Prime says that they paid them. They actually take the money from our settlement and pay the driver. So whatever.
Okay.
But after paying the driver, truck payment, everything paid out, I was easily making 4 to 5 racks every week.
Okay.
Take home. You know what I'm saying? Take home.
Nice.
And I was just and like I said, that was on the flatbed side. I talked to some reefer guys that I was training, and I know they taking easily 5 to 7 bands home every week.
Wow. Dope.
Killing.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So go ahead, continue the story. So you got into the training, you kept on training, and then what?
Right. I got into the training, kept on training for a few years after that, and then I got to the point where I felt like I didn't want to train anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I still wanted to make good money in trucking without having somebody in my truck, and I felt like that could be achieved at somewhere else outside of Prime.
What was the shift? Why didn't you want to train anymore? What happened?
I just got to the point where it was like I was tired of having, like I just earlier,
people in your truck.
People in my truck, right?
Yeah.
For lack of better words, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was tired of having people in my truck, and I was tired of having to be out on the road for 2 months at a time before I came home for, a week and seeing the family. So I would stay, and that's how I would do it. I wouldn't come home until I got the student off of my truck. Once I finished the student up, then I would come home for a week vacation. And then I would finish a week and I'd go get another student. I finish him out in 2 months and then come home for another week after it was done. So I was like, this got to be better than me being out 2 months. And I still got to, I want to make money without somebody in my truck and still make good money. So at that point in time, I decided that I started looking around. I tried to get into a couple of places, and I couldn't get into a couple of the places. So I ran into a company called Jones Motor Group. I think that's what they call it, Jones Motor Group. And they were flatbed. Now, what was interesting about this is that I was transitioning from general commodity with Prime, pulling like regular flatbed stuff, like building materials, just regular tarp and stuff, to a company now that was dealing with specialized flatbed step deck stuff, meaning like tractors, vehicles, and things of that nature. So it was going to be dope. I looked at it like, yo, this is crazy because it's going to elevate me to doing something different than what I'm used to. So I'm going to take that on. And on top of that, it was an owner operator position. So I had to basically come over there with a truck. And at that time I didn't have a truck. So when I called Jones, they said that they was part of some group that you can lease a truck from, and you can bring the truck on to them, and then you just make the weekly payments or whatever. So I was like, cool. So I got qualified through that company to lease a truck to take it to Jones. So I ended up getting a truck with Jones, and I went over there, and that was great because I went from Prime making 72% to at Jones making 75%, seeing 100% fuel surcharge. And now the transition is I have to book my own loads, right? So now I don't have a dispatcher. I have to go on a load board and find my own loads. And even though Joe had an in-house board that you could look on, and you can go to outside boards, which was really, really cool. I still had to be the one to pick. If I didn't pick a load or didn't talk with the broker or the agent about the load, I didn't make no money. So now I'm
Okay.
transitioning from having a dispatcher to having to book my own freight.
So this is when you actually started Parks Motor Group.
All right. So no, this is not when I started Parks Motor Group. I still was my old company name when I was at Prime, which was called On Point Logistics.
Okay.
So I'm still carrying that same name over.
Okay.
I did that with them for a year.
Okay.
So I went to Jones for a year, stayed there. And then after a year of me being there, what did I do after I was there for a year? Okay. So after a year of me being there, I talked to a guy that was on the logistics side of Prime, pulling the Prime trips and stuff like that.
Okay.
And his name is Chris. He's the owner of RST. And I knew Chris before he even started the company RST because Chris used to follow me on YouTube. And he asked me, how would I, we was interacting with each other before he even had a fleet, before he even had a truck, number one. He used to drive Carlisle stuff from Houston, the oil field stuff from Houston, Texas, up to Alaska.
Okay.
To the Alaskan oil field. So he was riding across, he was one of them ice road trucker dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Riding across the lakes that's iced out. And he was showing me pictures like, yo, look at this riding across a lake.
That's
Would
wild.
you do this? Like, nah, bro, that's all you. Bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right, that is all you. You the
That's
real
crazy.
MVP.
That's a fact.
So he told me that he wanted to basically build a fleet inside of Prime and how to do it. So I basically laid out a blueprint for him. And for lack of better words, he took that and ran with it and created a fleet. Okay.
Yeah.
Now his fleet is up to like 60 plus trucks with RST with Prime. So yeah.
Yo, that's crazy. That's a crazy story. All right.
Yo, word. So a lot of people be like, I look at it like this in a nutshell. I've basically gave a blueprint on how to do a fleet, and a guy actually listened to me and didn't take me for smoke, and was like, and did it, and the 60 trucks right now off of, basically how I told him how to go about doing it. So
could we maybe get into that blueprint a little bit? Because I know right now somebody's listening like, hold up, did he say he has the blueprint to building a fleet and somebody did it and they have 60 trucks? Can you give us a little bit of a sneak preview of what that blueprint would look like?
Ah, man. That would have to be for another podcast. I tell you, it's pretty extenuous. You know what I mean?
Well, listen. I mean, of course, it wouldn't be everything, but just kind of like the basics. You know what I'm saying? What's the basics? Somebody getting into the game.
Okay, so the basics is, it's crazy because a lot of people feel like you need to have a lot of capital, which I'm not saying that you don't, because you do. Okay, it's best to have quite a goose egg of capital, but he started out as simple as going and getting 2 trucks, right? And he went and got the 2 trucks that he got from Prime. So whatever he bought those trucks for, whether he leased them from them or whatever he did, whatever he decided to do. But let's just say if he bought them trucks for $30,000, each one of those freight liners from Prime for $30,000 because they're used, or even $40,000. So if he puts $80,000 up and he gets these 2 trucks and he owns them, or let's just say he finances them from wherever, a bank, and they make him put down whatever on his credit. Let's just say he put down maybe $10,000 and finances the rest of the $30,000 through the bank. Then if he's putting down $10,000, he only needs to front $20,000 to get these 2 trucks. Now those 2 trucks, you put drivers in them, and every year that goes by or every quarter that goes by, you just add an additional truck. Each quarter, add one more truck, add another truck. So essentially what to do is you have to allow your business to tell you when to grow at the end of the day. You know what I mean? If your numbers are in the red and it's saying, don't add no trucks, then just stable out and just stay where you're at. If your numbers is in the green and you got enough to go and grab another truck, because it more trucks that bring you, the more volume that you have, the more revenue that you make, which essentially means more profit to you. Then you go about doing it that way. So that's kind of like what he did. He actually started with trucks that he got from Prime, and next thing you know, after the first quarter, he went and snatched another one. Now he's up to his 3rd truck. After the next quarter, he went and snatched another one. Now he's up to his 5th one. Now he has his own authority at that time. So now he could bring on people on the outside that have their own trucks, owner operators that have their own trucks to come under his authority and still pull the prime freight because they're under his authority. So now he's going out and grabbing owner operators with their own trucks. Boom, 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 grabbing them and making his fleet get bigger. And in the process of him grabbing those owner operators, now he's making profit off of their trucks too. So he just kept on multiplying, right? Until he got to the point where it's like, all right, now from those owner operators making me money, I can go out off the profit that they're bringing me and go and get more additional trucks for my company, for me to lease out personally. And then once I get to a certain amount of trucks, now I can start turning some of these trucks that I get into company trucks. So he was just leveling up as his money told him to do so, and not growing too fast or moving at a rapid pace.
Dope. Thank you for that. And what was the time it took him to scale to that number of the fleet he has now? From the time he started with the 2 years. That's crazy.
2 years.
That's crazy. So
I think he, of his own trucks, he probably has like maybe half of the fleet is his own trucks, and the other half of the fleet is like owner operators that he went and pulled to put under his authority.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah. Dope. All right. So let's get back to your story. All right. So you're pulling for Jones Motor, right? You purchased your truck. So talk about that. How was that experience with Jones?
The experience with Jones was really, really fun. I enjoyed doing the Jones work because it was just something like different than I've ever experienced at Prime. Like I said, I was general commodity. At Jones, I was pulling ambulances, cars. I pulled some, God, I can't remember the name of them. They build them in Indianapolis. It's those Tonka trucks, like where it looks like, man, I made a video on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
It was the supercharged or turbocharged F-150 trucks. I had those, and I did a video on my, like I said, and man, that was a blast to drive those because I was on this lot. I was on this lot with these supercharged trucks, so I'm getting in them, and I'm turning them up, and as soon as you roll, I'm like, oh, boy, you done got the wrong one in here.
Wow. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm just rolling it up, and then as I need to pull it towards my trailer, right, it's like almost like this open strip, right? So with me seeing this open strip, oh my God. I'm looking left, I'm looking right, I'm looking above. Is anybody around? Ain't nobody.
Right. You had a ball.
I had a lot of fun doing that. Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed. I had a great time at Jones. The only reason, like I said, I left Jones is because when I went on to RST, which was the guy that helped build his fleet, he indicated to me that he would help me to build or to come over there and build a fleet.
Okay.
And at that time, like, build a fleet? I'm not thinking about a fleet, right? I've never thought about a fleet at that point. So I'm like, okay. I was like, let's try this. So I ended up leaving Jones to go there and do that. I didn't leave Jones on a bad term because like I said, I liked everything that I did at Jones. It was able where I could book my own freight. I was able to negotiate my rates. I was able to get home when I wanted to get home. It got to the point where towards the end before I left, I started just running Charlotte down to the port in Charleston, picking up Caterpillar loads and bringing them back up here to the Charlotte area and being out and gone for like 1 to 2 days and being back home.
Okay.
So I really did enjoy my time there. So I left there and I came over to RST. I had my one truck. This was in January. I ended up getting sick. I ended up having real bad stomach pain. And I came back over to RST and I started pulling. I was pulling Prime's flatbed again. I was still doing flatbed.
Okay.
But I got really, really sick one day in Albany, New York. My stomach started hurting really, really bad. It almost felt like somebody was just taking gut shot punches into my stomach, and I couldn't figure out what it was. I'm sitting in the back of the truck in the sleeper, just in the fetal position, like, oh my God, like I don't know what to do. So I called my wife, I called my mother, and I'm a veteran, so I'm prior service. I was in the military.
Okay.
So
thank you for your service. Appreciate that.
Hey,
thank you.
Hey, the pleasure was all mine. The honor was all mine.
No doubt.
So I was sitting there, and my wife and my mother is looking up a VA hospital that hopefully is in the area where I can go to. And just by the grace of God, man, there's one that's like 2 miles up the street from where I'm parked at.
Okay.
So I hop in the front seat, grimacing in pain, just like, oh my God. So I drive up there. I call the security. I say, listen, I got a truck with a trailer. Where can I park it? You know what I mean? I'm in severe pain. I need to come in there. And they're like, yeah, park it around back. Woody, park it in this parking lot.
Right.
And there's cars in this parking lot. So I'm with this 53-foot truck, man, trying to get through a little hospital in Albany, New York. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's crazy.
Yo, and I'm in pain. I'm like, yo, so I'm in there like trying to cuss and the pain coming. I'm like, this mother, God, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh!
So
Wow,
it's crazy.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So I finally find a spot to park it, and I go running in the hospital in the ER. I'm like, yo, I'm in pain. So they sit me down, and they put me in the bed, and they run some X-rays. They send me up to X-ray. They come back for X-ray. It's like, all right, Mr. Parks, everything looks all good. When's the last time you had a movement and stuff like that? And I'm like, just not too long ago, but it's still hurting. Like this. It's not that, you know what I'm saying? Like this is something bigger than that.
Yeah. So,
they was like, okay, well, we're gonna try to give you. I forgot what it is. What's that thing where they flush you out, man? I'm sorry to be vulgar, but I'm trying to not be so vulgar. But it's the thing where they enema. I think, is that right? Where they flush you out.
I mean,
you can
definitely use that for that. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I think that's what they tried to give me, right?
Okay.
And that when they gave that to me, it didn't work. Yeah, I started being in extreme pain, to the point of just bawling out, tearing, and screaming like ah. At that point, they come running in there. I'm like, yo, just give me something, take the pain away. They shoot me up with I guess it's morphine or something, like bam. Yeah. And it felt like just like I was on cloud 9 at that point. I'm like,
right. You were good. Yeah.
Pain gone, right? Pain gone. So then they came in and was like, all right, it has to be something more than that. We've tried all these other things and he's still being in pain. So now they give me a CAT scan, all right, and they put that dye or whatever it is in my body so that it can show like what's going on the inside of me. Right. So when they put that dye on the inside of me, it comes back and they see that I have a what is it? Diverticulitis. I had diverticulitis. Okay. Basically, I had a growth on my small intestine. Right. Okay. A pocket that was actually holding, stool, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Without you. But it wasn't going through the intestines like it was supposed to, and that was creating a cyst or a buildup there. Emergency surgery. If I wouldn't have if I would have sat in the truck a night, they tell me I would have died. Wow. Because it was about to erupt and burst. And when that erupts and bursts, that puts poison into your body and it will kill you. Yeah. And then when some poison gets in your body, they can't get it out. Correct. Yeah. It's over for you. Wow. So emergency, as soon as the doctor sees that, oh, this guy, emergency surgery, let's go. You got to go on surgery in the next 2 hours. And I'm like, yo, what? I was like, so my mother's not even here. And I'm like, yo, I got no family here. Right. I was like, all right, well, call your family, tell them, but we got to operate. We got to cut you down in your stomach and get that out like in the next 2 hours or you're not going to live. So they put me in surgery done. My mom's on the plane to come down there immediately, ASAP. She gets there, the operation is over. I open my eyes, my mother is sitting there. I was like, oh, wow. So, and I'm like, I'm still alive.
Right. Yo, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Right. So at that point in time, I knew from me having that, I couldn't do flatbed no more. I couldn't jump on and off the trailer anymore. I couldn't, twist and turn and do stuff like that no more. So my flatbed days was over. Okay. And I actually didn't get released from the hospital there after my surgery until about 2 weeks. I was supposed to get released a week after that, but they gave me some medication. I think it's come to find out that I was allergic to codeine or something like that. I'm allergic to it. So it started making me vomit, started making me break out, started making me get swollen. So they kept me in the hospital an additional week to give me fluids and all this other stuff. So once I got out of the hospital, when I was in the hospital, the owner of RC, Chris, came to get the truck. And he drove it for a week to try to, to give money towards, bringing the truck payment down, or for me to pay for the truck payment and stuff of that nature.
Okay.
So he tried to ride it as long as he could, but at the same time, he kind of like was like, after a week of doing it or 2 weeks of doing it, he was like, I ain't gonna do it no more. You know what I'm saying? Type of deal where I'm gonna sit your truck down, and we would try to figure it out from there. So that what happened when I got out of hospital, or before I went in the hospital in January. This is where the same company that gave me the truck came to me with a deal, and they said, listen, we'll give you an additional truck for $1,000. Put $1,000 down, you can get your second truck.
Okay.
And I'm like, what? All right, so because for the truck that I was in, I put down $1,000. The truck that I was driving at that time, I put down $10,000. So they came at me and it's like, we'll get you a used 2016 Freightliner. Give us $1,000 and you can lease it.
Okay.
So I'm like, yo, opportunity of a lifetime. So before I end up getting sick, I signed off on that contract to get it done. Well, like I said, I didn't fully recover from my surgery until about 6 weeks later after that. So it was like March before I was able to, get out of the hospital. And then once I got out of the hospital, I went and got that second truck that I had already signed off on.
And we're talking March of last year, right? March 2018?
Correct.
Okay, cool. Just making sure we're on the timeline. All right, good. I'm listening.
Yep, March of 2018.
2018, hold on, 2018 and 2019. Last year, I'm sorry. 2019.
Yeah, March of 2018. No, March of 2018.
18. Okay, cool. So
yep.
almost 2 years ago, basically.
Correct.
All right,
almost 2 years ago.
Got you.
And basically, once I went and got once I picked up that second truck and they got my $1,000, believe it or not, that started Parks Motor Group. That kicked off my fleet.
Dope. That's interesting.
So
started from the bottom. Now we here.
Exactly.
All right, cool. So Parks Motor Group. So now you currently have the 2 trucks, right, in your fleet.
I have 7 now.
Oh, hold up, man. All right. Let me fall back now. So that's Parks Motor Group. Where do we go from there? Talk to me after you get those 2 trucks. What do you do next?
All right, so I get the 2 trucks, and now at this point, I'm driving one of the trucks, and I have a team that's in one of my other trucks, right? In my original white truck that I had, I'm driving the $1,000 truck at this point because I'm waiting to hire somebody for it. So I get a team in that truck, and then probably like a couple weeks later, I end up finding somebody to get into the second truck. Well, in the process of me finding somebody to get into the second truck, same company that I'm getting my trucks from hits me up again. And they're like, hey, want another truck?
Yo, who are these guys and what's their number, man? Like, what's going on, man?
So you're right. I mean, the reason why I don't, I tell people privately like who they are. I really don't like advertising for them that much.
Okay.
And the reason why I don't, because the experience is not going to be good. Okay. For people. And the reason why I say that is because what we said about the dispatchers, rule number 1, communication. Right? Their communication is atrocious.
Okay.
It's terrible.
Gotcha.
You call them up, you're not going to get no answer. You leave a voicemail, they may call you back in 5 days. You leave an email, they respond in 4 days. Like, that is terrible. So, but I'm already in the deal. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm in it. Got you. I don't want anybody else to be involved. You know what I mean?
I understand that. I definitely understand that. You know the monster. You could deal with it, but you don't want to put nobody else on because they might not be able to deal with it like you. I could
exactly.
But all right, go ahead. I'm listening.
Because if they were like A1, I wouldn't mind telling the world about them because I would tell everybody like, yo, go here, there, you'll be successful here. I'm being successful here. Whoa. Like I said, it got to a point where I had to actually get the owner of the company's number in order to communicate what I need to do because your service people ain't doing a damn thing.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
Got you.
But from there, I got a phone call again from the leasing company saying, you want another truck? And I'm like, whoa, okay. I just got another one from y'all. And this was they called me in April, like a month after I got that last one.
Right.
Up in March.
Yeah.
they called me in April. I was like, "You want another one?" I'm like, okay. How much? $1,000. Oh, y'all making this too easy
offer
for
you
me,
can't
right?
refuse. Right,
Right. I
right,
can't
right.
refuse it. So I'm like, okay. I was like, yeah, let me get that. $1,000. All right, go. You gotta go to Florida to pick it up. Okay, no problem. So now I say, I get the second driver in this other in the second truck that I was in. Now, once I get that driver orientated, get them acclimated, I fly out and go pick up the third truck. I pick up the third truck, get it ready, and I'm driving that for a little bit of time, and then I find a driver to get in there, and then I think by I drove that all the way up until October. In October, I ended up getting the third driver to get in there. Now, I had 3 trucks, right? I was making good money with my 3 trucks. I was very profitable. And at that time, all of my drivers were W-2 workers. None of them was contractors. None of them was 1099. It was W-2 workers.
Okay.
And so I got to pay payroll taxes, half of their Social Security, half of Medicare, payroll taxes, my taxes.
Right.
So, just
workers
money,
comp the whole 9. Yeah.
workers comp, the whole 9, just everything, unemployment, all of that stuff, just flying out the window. So, and profit margins, I was still able to be profitable because I was in the truck driving still. You know what I'm saying? While my other 2 trucks were running, I still was driving, so I was able to keep my money that came in off the truck that I was driving.
Gotcha.
But on those 2 trucks with being W-2, and once again, not having 100% of the contract, because the percent that we was getting on with RST was 80%. So 20% Prime took out already. So we got 80% of the cut. Once it got down to RST took out $500 for a team truck, $450 for insurance, $300 if it was a solo truck. So when you start doing all those numbers, if a truck didn't revenue a certain amount of money, then you knew that you wasn't going to turn profit that week at all.
Right.
And you knew you was going to have to dip it in your own bank account. But like it's again, once I had the 3 trucks, I didn't have to worry about that because I was driving one. So I kind of if the other 2 trucks came up short, I made up for it.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
Got you.
So I get into this to this third truck. I get the next driver in there. I found some brilliant idea.
Okay.
I found a brilliant idea to want to bring investors into my company to purchase trucks or to get trucks. Well, what I thought was a brilliant idea.
There we go. I'm listening.
Right? That was a brilliant idea. I found 4 investors that would each give, one investor gave $20,000 for 2 trucks, and the other 3 investors gave $10,000 for each additional truck. So I found 4 investors. I got 5 trucks. I told each of these investors, I said, I need $10,000 to go and get a truck from the company that I'm leasing from.
Right.
I said, and if y'all are with it and it's a go, then I will present this to the leasing company and see if they're down for it. Well, I found 4 of them. All these guys like, yeah, like I said, one investor said, I'll do 2 trucks. I put $20,000 down and do it. I was like, I bet. And I was like, here's the agreement that I guarantee that after a year, if the truck doesn't turn any profit, then I give you your $10,000 back that initially put in.
Got you.
Okay. So basically, it's almost like a win-win situation for the investor.
Either way, they're gonna get their money back. Either way, you're gonna get your money back. It's only upside. You could win, you could win, or you just get your money back. One of the 2.
Right. Exactly.
Understood.
Okay. So the worst contract ever. Okay. Let me tell you, don't ever guarantee nobody on no investment a damn dollar back. Okay. That's why it's called an investment.
Right.
Let me tell you, that was the worst idea. Okay. I'm still paying for it to this day.
Wow.
Worst idea.
Okay.
But,
okay.
So I present this to the leasing company, and I was like, okay, we'll give you 5 brand new trucks, 2019s, all brand new, 0 miles on them things, and we got them. They fresh off the dock, 0 miles.
Okay.
Right? So now what I had to do is, so I got the money wired to me, and I wired it back out to the company, the leasing company, to get the 5 trucks. Now I need to get the drivers down there, I now need to hire the drivers that are going to be driving these trucks to help me transport them back to RST.
Right.
So as we thought.
Right. So just all right. So you had the 3 trucks. Now you're getting 5 more. What was the investment that you put in for the 5 with all the investors?
$50,000.
$50,000, 5 trucks. All right. So you wire the
Right.
money. Yeah. What's next?
I find out from RST that he can't bring on these 5 trucks. Oh,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, what? You know what I mean? Like, my projections on everything
Are based on the work.
are based on what my other 3 trucks and RST
And-
is doing. You know
And they don't have to work for the trucks.
Right. Right. And they don't have to work for the trucks. So he's like, I can't bring them on. My insurance won't allow me. And also now I gotta scramble to figure out what I'm gonna do. Okay. Where can I put these trucks on that think fast, think quick, Sean? Where can you go with these?
This is crazy.
Right. Where can I go? Right? Because now
Right.
I got these people, I got these trucks, but now I don't have a place to take them. So I'm thinking fast. Ding. Go back to Jones.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So I put these I put these trucks on with Jones. Well, we drove them from, and I was one of the drivers. I helped drive one of the trucks back because the other driver, he wasn't ready to come over yet. He still was with his other company.
Okay.
So I get me and 4 of the other guys. We drive the trucks back. Boom. We hauling in a convoy. We had to pick them up from Dallas, Texas, and drive them all the way back to Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
So we driving overnight. We just trying to get them back. We get them there, and one of the guys can't come on to Jones because of like some background history that he has.
Okay.
That they went and dug up. You know, the company Jones went and dug up, and they was like, yeah, no, he's disqualified. So I was like, okay. What am I supposed to do with this truck now? You know what I mean? Feeling crazy. Well, I ended up finding a place for him to go. You know what I mean? I ended up tucking him off over in Great Wide in like another company.
Okay.
Another owner-operator, load board company, Great Wide. So I put him over there.
Okay.
The other 4 trucks couldn't come under Jones because, well, one of the trucks could, but 3 of the other ones couldn't because I didn't realize that these drivers had less than 2 years of experience. And Jones wants you to have 2 years of experience, right?
Okay.
So now, again, I'm scratching my head like, but then they came back. Jones like, we do have a sistering company that does allow 1 year.
Okay.
So now these guys had 1 year. So I was like, whew, thank God. So I put them on with that, and it still was the same situation. It was a load board, right? So now I got all these trucks filled in their places. Now I become daddy dispatcher. Okay.
Right. Oh,
now I got to dispatch the trucks, right? Because all of these guys are company drivers. So I have to it's my responsibility to make sure that this is moving. Like I said, if I'd have put it on with RST, we already had a dispatcher over there that would dispatch them, so I wouldn't have to worry about that. But once again, change the plan, right?
Right.
So now I'm on the spot market dispatching 5 trucks a day. Phone blowing up like crazy. I got 3 phones going crazy, bling, 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 all over here at different brokers, negotiating out, and it got to a point where it was just a whole lot, right? I put those 5 trucks on the spot market in October of 2018. By the time we got to January or February of 2019, I had lost $60,000 in negative money that I had to kick out of my own pocket to keep the business afloat and to keep those trucks running.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
Aside from the $50,000 that the investors had put, because a lot of people think like the investors, oh, well, how do you know that he didn't pocket it? I showed receipts. I was like, listen, I took your $10,000 and put it into this truck. It's nothing that I have that I kept of yours that's paying towards this. I have now additionally in 90 days have kicked out $60,000 out of my own savings account, checking account of my own money to keep these trucks up and going and afloat. So major setback. So now we're looking at $50,000 that I have to pay back to the investors, $60,000 that I'm out of my own cash to keep it up and running. So we're talking what, $110,000.
Yes, in the red.
That's just in the red. Boom, gone. So I was like, I contacted Chris again. This is what we said. Where we say this is 2019.
Yeah,
this is 2019. We're in 2019.
Yep.
I contacted Chris again. I said, man, help. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
help.
Yeah.
Like, can I please bring these trucks on there because I can't dispatch this no more. I'm $60,000 out already in my own cash. It's not working. This is the same time that the spot market started to crash a little bit. It wasn't that same, $2, $3 a mile. It was starting to go down to like 150, and we're
Right.
pulling drive-in and stuff like that. So I was like, please, 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 if you have a spot, please allow us to come. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he was like, okay, tell you what. He was like, start to transition the trucks over one by one. And I was like, oh, thank God, thank God, thank God, thank God. You know what I mean? So I started transitioning the trucks over one by one. So it was going to be a change for all of us because now we go from me being the dispatcher to us having a prime dispatcher and us pulling refrigerator freight.
Okay.
Okay, which these guys was mostly used to pulling flatbed, step deck, or dry box. So they're not used to turning on a refrigeration unit on the truck.
Yeah.
So basically they had to learn that. So long story short, we got all our trucks moved over. Excuse me, by March. We got all our trucks moved over by March of 2019. All right. Life is going good at this moment in time. We have 8. At that moment in time, we had 8 trucks.
Okay.
8 trucks. I'm trying to run 8 trucks.
Yeah.
When I was there pulling for RST, it was going good. I actually got myself partially more than 3/4 of the way out of the red. That I was, I said I was like $110,000 in the red. So I got myself 3/4 pulled out the way. And we're going to fast forward because I still kept all the same trucks until we came into the month of October.
Okay.
October, I had this is when I'm local, right?
Okay.
And I've been local. I've been back home since March of 2019. I came off the road March 2019. And
Okay.
I've been home since then.
Okay.
But fast forward timeline up to October this year, or October of last year, 2019. I had a meeting with Coca-Cola, and they said that they were looking for fleet. So I had a meeting with them.
Okay.
Just to try to figure out how try to see if there's another avenue where I can be profitable at. And they had dedicated freight that was going from terminal to terminal. And they said that they had the miles. So I went and talked to them about that. And we was about to lock down the contract with them. Everything was a go. Everything sounded good. It was time to get ready to transition the trucks. And Coca-Cola ended up pulling out.
Mm.
So once again, another hurdle I ran into. I was like, okay. So we're just
any
staying.
specific reason why they pulled out, or what happened?
They pulled out because they indicated that they had slowed up on miles, and I didn't want to make the transition with my trucks from one carrier to bring them over to another carrier, and then them start saying like, "Hey, we're not getting no miles, and without us getting miles, we're not making money."
Right. Okay.
So that happened. 2 days later, I found another contract with UPS, Freight.
Okay.
I looked over everything. I seen all of the different things that they pay for. Like they pay for tolls, they pay for plates, they pay for the highway taxes, the IFTA taxes. They pay for a lot of things, and they give fuel surcharge, and everything is terminal. And then I found out everything was 90 to 98% drop and hook going terminal.
Dope.
I was like, yo, dope. The driver should love this, right?
Yeah.
And
no touch, you good.
Like no touch, you good, and you just hook and book and keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I conferenced in with my drivers, and asked them, is this something that they would be interested in? And they said yes. Everybody kind of like agreed to it, and I went ahead and signed the contract and transitioned my trucks over. And as of my first truck went over there, my first two trucks went over there October 31st, and then suddenly every week after that I started bringing my other trucks over, and now I'm up to 7. I mean, I have 7 trucks now. One of my trucks, the 2016, the second truck that I got, that I ever got, the lease was up on that truck. And then plus that truck was starting to give us kind of like mechanical issues. So we just went ahead and turned it back in to the leasing company. And, I just haven't replaced that truck yet. So we're at 7 trucks right now currently.
Dope.
and we're with UPS, and we're doing great.
With UPS. That's dope, man. That is a
Right,
crazy story, man.
right,
That is a
right.
crazy story. So working with UPS, how are they very strict on like qualifying their fleets? Like what are some things anybody who be looking to get on with them that you'd have to pretty much have in order for them to sign on with you?
All right. So with me, I've still run under UPS's authority, right? Because a lot of people feel like, yo, why you don't go get your own authority? And to me, if you find the right situation, there's no need for an authority. You know what I'm saying? If
Okay.
you can find somebody else who's going to take on that, especially when with UPS, with them being so large and them having so many trucks, their insurance is ridiculously cheap. You know what I mean? And they've
Right.
been established for so long. So if I go get my own authority with these 7 trucks that I have, my insurance is going to be through the roof. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
And I'm not in this to be. And a lot of people think like you get in trucking, it turns into a statue or a symbol of macho manness, or if you will,
Like a
like
badge of
you got
honor. Like
a badge of honor. Yeah, exactly.
I
So
got
like,
20 trucks.
yeah, I got 20 trucks on this, and you ain't a real fleet owner if you don't own your trucks and have the titles free and clear. And I
Right.
keep telling these people like, dog, the difference between me and them is I'm an entrepreneur. I don't care about ownership or none of that. It's all about the bottom line to me at the end of the day. I'm running a business. You know what I'm saying? I'm not running something to be owning 20 trucks. And then if I do go belly up, or if something goes wrong, I have 20 trucks I have to try to sell. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? I
mm.
don't have that situation with this. If my business, if I decide to walk away from this, you know what I'm saying, trucking, and say, you know what, I made enough money, I don't want to do it no more, I could turn all of my trucks into the company where I lease them from and be completely wipe hand free. I don't have to worry about selling these trucks. I don't have to worry
Mm.
about doing any of this stuff. That's their trucks. All I do is I make my money off of these trucks. You know what I mean?
Got you.
So, and that's how entrepreneurs move. Entrepreneurs don't look at like, yo, I gotta own all of this stuff in order to be profitable. Not necessarily. Not necessarily at all.
Right.
And I make good doing what I do. And just to rewind just a little bit,
Yeah, go
we're gonna
ahead.
go back to, we used to be Parks Motor Group LLC, okay, and that was all the way up until August of 2019. We changed our name over to Parks Motor Group Inc. Reason why: Parks Motor Group LLC had W-2 employees. With
Okay.
all of this, you know, all these deductions and all this other stuff like that. And at one point in time, with me having that, and like I said, the profit margin with having employees, when you're not getting 100% of the revenue that's coming in, like you're not have the direct customer yourself, and
Right.
you're getting cut 20% from Prime, and then another like 5 or 6% cut from RST. You're not making, you know, that 30 or that 25% is essentially your profits as a business
Right.
that you're having to give away.
Right.
And when you're giving that away, then you're not turning profit. So what ends up happening is, well, we fell into a little problems with taxes. Okay. We had a little tax problem going on.
Okay.
We had a little tax problem going on.
Okay.
I had to get with my tax attorney, and we had to get that straightened out. And then once we got that straightened out, you know, we restructured the business, and we decided that we're not going to do W-2 employees anymore unless we have direct customer. If we
Mm.
don't have a direct customer, we're not doing that. We're going to have 1099 contractors, and they have to be legitimate 1099 contractors. None of this company 1099 jobs, which is just a complete scam. That's a
Right.
way for a company to push off their tax liability on that individual for them to have to pay that tax burden.
Right.
So ours is a legit 1099 contractor. You have to have an EIN number. You
Mm-hmm.
have to have a business bank account. You know
Mm.
what I mean? So you have to have all that, because when we transfer the money to you, it's coming from one business
Right.
going to another business. We're not
And
transferring from our business to a personal account. You know what I'm saying? We transfer business to business.
right. Right.
So we started doing that August 6th. And now what I do is for my drivers, I take a flat fee. So for the teams, I take $100 a week, no matter how much their revenue. It's a fixed rate, you know, similar to how like a truck payment is. It's a
Okay.
fixed rate. So it's $600 a week for a team, regardless if you run 1,000 miles, 100,000 miles, or you run 0 miles, or you run
Mm.
100,000 in revenue, 5,000 revenue or zero revenue, it's 600 every week. Okay.
Got you.
And for my solo drivers, it's 300 every week. So when you streamline that and you do the math, I have 4 team trucks and I have 3 solo. So if I'm getting 600 a week every week, regardless, for 4 team trucks, and then 300 a week every week for a solo truck every week, regardless. At the end of the day, I make $3,300 a week, regardless.
So you almost have kind of like a barbershop model, like almost like you rent the chair. You know what I'm saying? And you can make as much money as you want to make, but you just pay that chair rent, and then you.
Correct.
That's interesting. That's interesting. What made you, when you first started out, what made you do employees? Because a lot of people, like the more traditional route, everybody wants to start out 1099. What made you start off with employees?
I was told I was fed wrong information. straight up.
Okay.
I came in this and when I came into it, I didn't really know how I should have structured it like the way that I got it now. Because if I would have structured the way I have it right now, I would probably no lie. My fleet would probably be double in the size. I probably would either be 15 to 20 trucks right now, because I would, essentially I make $14,000 a month in profit. And if I want to go get a new truck, $10,000, I can go get a new truck every month. Add a truck every month. So if knowing if doing what I'm doing now, I would have done when I first started doing it, I would have probably been like 20, 30 trucks right now. But I mean, hindsight is
2020.
It is what it is. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which is the year we in. But that's a dope model. That's very interesting, man, the way you do things. That's dope. That's a little jewel for the people out there for sure.
Right. And definitely I told my wife this, and she was I said, I want to make a YouTube video about this. I was like, I don't know if there's people would get offensive about this. But real talk, I looked, I said, I turned trucking on wheels, or trucking into real estate on wheels.
Yeah.
And my wife was like, interested. Tell me how you did that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My wife's like, how you do that? Tell me how. I said, because check it out. I was like, with these contractors, they pay the truck notes. I don't pay the truck notes. Now, what I do is I pull the truck note out of their settlement and I forward it. Okay. And I forward it. So they don't get to see that, because I look at it like this. If I leave a driver responsible to make the truck note, the contractor make a truck note, it's a possibility the truck might get repossessed because they may not pay it.
That's a fact.
Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it from your settlement and I'm going to pay it forward, so we don't never have to worry about you not having no truck. Okay?
Right.
So I look at it. I told my wife, I said, listen, because they pay the truck note, all right, similar to a house. When you rent a house, who pays the mortgage on the house? If you have a mortgage, the person that's in the property, right? And then you make a little bit of money if you upcharge the property or whatever. If you're renting it, you upcharge it. Let's say your mortgage may be $1,000, but you're charging $1,200, $1,300 depending on the area that they live in the market for that house. Right. So they make a $300 profit every month. I was like, listen, so they're paying $780 for their truck note. For a company driver, not a company driver, solo driver, I take $300 a week. For a team, I take $600 a week. All right. So for a solo, let's just say solo, that's 3 times 4.3, just to make math a little bit more easy. 4 times 4. So we'll say I make $1,200 in profit off of one solo truck a month. That's more than what a rental property person is making if he's making $300 a month.
Right. Yo, that's dope. That's dope, man. That's a crazy model, man. I love that. That's dope. Real estate on wheels. Matter of fact,
that's
the name of this episode right here. Real estate on wheels. All right. So you said a little bit earlier, you're an entrepreneur, man. That's what you called yourself. You said I'm an entrepreneur. How important is entrepreneurship to you?
Oh, it's very important. I preach it in everything that I do, as far as my video content on YouTube or on my social media. For years, I've been preaching generational wealth. Create something to leave behind your legacy, for your name, for your kids, for your kids' kids to pass on to your grandkids and stuff like that. Create something to pass down to your kids so that they can take pride in it and do that. And only people that can do that is entrepreneurs. Anybody who is a worker, if you will, not to be disrespectful, but workers tend to can't leave much of anything behind for their for their kids or for their family. Most people that work a 9 to 5 end up dying broke. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
That's
Or
a fact.
they end up dying with a poor burial, and they worked 40 years of their life, broke their back, feet hurt, got diabetes or whatever, cancer, things of that nature, and
Yeah.
they left nothing, for their
Yeah.
family other than bills. And I refuse to leave my kids with that when I leave, or my wife if I leave before her. I refuse to leave my family starving and broke, and my kids being like, my daddy, he lived. I want them to be like, nah, my daddy, you know what I'm saying? My daddy left
Set
me
us
with
up.
something that
Yeah.
I
Nah, that's dope. That's dope. What do you think about the industry right now, as far as rates and everything going on? What do you think about the current state of the trucking industry?
the current state of the industry, I think that, man, one, it's an election year. That's one. Two, I mean, Trump is kicking off this so-called, and I say so-called war. Man, to be honest with you, we've been in war for years. It's just a silent war. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's just been
Right.
a silent war. But we've
Right.
been, as long as our troops are overseas in another country, we're in war. You know
That's
what
a
I mean?
fact.
Period.
That's a fact.
But so fuel prices is probably going to go up. 2020 is, like I said, my hashtag this year is 2020 vision. You know what I mean? Is stay inspirational, stay out of the negativity and stuff of that nature. But I think that this year is the year to basically stable out. Just hold what you got. Don't try to grow anything. Just see what's going to happen.
Mm.
In 2021, when we see who the new president could possibly be, see if we're really going to be doing this World War III crap. And then 2021, that's when, you make moves, make money moves.
No
2021
doubt.
is the money move year.
No doubt. What do you think about people trying to get into the trucking industry with no experience? Like, just kind of, because trucking has now become kind of trendy. On social media, people are looking at it as a way to create passive income, so to speak, and create another income for yourself. And they may not have transportation experience previous. What do you say to those people who want to get into this industry, but they just don't? They're excited about it. They're passionate about entrepreneurship, and they want to create something for themselves, but they don't have the industry knowledge.
Listen, there's never a bad time to get in trucking. It don't matter what nobody tell you. You know what I mean? Regardless of, with all these rates and stuff like that, it's just still one of the highest paying, grossing, netting industries that you can make. And there's so many schools out here that are offering training for you. They give you the bus ticket. They give you the training. They damn near handing you the CDL. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All you got to do is come to their school. Like, for instance, I went to Prime with little no money at that time.
Right.
Fresh off of a divorce at that time too. So I had little to no money. They got me a bus ticket. I got down there. They fed me 3 meals a day. They put me in a hotel room. They took me everywhere I needed to go. They helped me get my CDL as far as like the written down portion, and then they put me in a truck and for a trainer to train me, and I still was making money. And then once I finished getting my CDL, I was in a truck and making money. So even if you're homeless or you're down on your luck, you're bad now, and you're just like, you know what, I have nothing else to do. Trucking is a great out because it will get you back on your feet. A truck will give you a place to live, especially if you're homeless. You can live in your truck and making money. Think about it. You're living in your truck and you're making money in where you're living in. So it is a great bounce back thing. There's never a wrong time to get in the trucking. This industry is short drivers I think they're short over like something million of drivers.
That's a fact.
So it is not going to be something that this industry is always, it's like to me, it's kind of like my wife's field, the medical field. They're always hiring, dog. And when you have a CDL, you can be local, you can be OTR, you can be regional, you can move to any 48 state in this country and guarantee you'll pick up a job.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. No doubt. That's real, man. That's real. How has the ELD mandate impacted your business?
None, not at all. And the reason why I say that is because most of my drivers have been running off of the ELD previous to the ELD mandate coming in.
Okay.
Right. And I came in the industry learning off of the ELD system. I didn't come in learning off of the log books, having to do 2 or 3 log books and stuff like that. I came in off the ELD system. So no impact at all.
Got you. That's dope. So are your 5 investors happy now, man? Are they good?
Listen. Yo, listen.
How do they feel about the trucking industry right now? Your 5 investors.
I don't know how they feel about it. I can tell you how I feel about it. Listen, I've already paid off 3 of my investors, right?
Dope.
I have one of my investors that I'm paying off on Tuesday when the bank opens back up. I'll be down to 1 investor, and I will owe him a total of $5,000, which I'll close that out end of February. I will have completed all of my investors, and I will not have another investor ever again. Okay, ever again. No, that was a nightmare.
Yo, that is so crazy, man. Listen, man. This show has been great, man. You've been so transparent and giving the audience so much information. It's crazy. So I want to start closing this out. We've been on for like an hour and a half. We've been rocking. Yeah, crazy, right? Time flies when you're having fun. I like to always leave the audience with a closing thought, final jewels, some final words, and then just let everybody know where they could connect with you, your Instagram, on YouTube. Let's talk about that. Let's start with the final thought for the Truck and Hustle audience.
For the Truck and Hustle audience, listen, I had somebody ask me the other day, "Hey, Lo, how you make your mad?" I said, "That's simple. All you got to do is keep getting the bag. Okay, just keep getting to your money. All right, and that's your focus. All right, get to your money by any means necessary. Well, not any means necessary. Let me take that back, because I don't want people going out and say, okay, well, he said any means necessary. Let's go for a gun and rob somebody. No, get to your money and your hustle legitimately. Okay, the legitimate way that keeps you out behind those walls. You just got to keep winning, man. You've been lost so many times. You got to keep winning at this point. So stay focused, stay humble. You know what I'm saying, and stay on your grind. And that's on my channel. One thing I say winners focus on winning, and losers focus on winners. And we winning all day.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. I like that. Word. All right, cool. And where can the people connect with you, man? Where can they find you?
No doubt, people can connect with me. I'm on my YouTube channel. It's called Trucking with Loshawn Parks. If you just get in the YouTube search box, you can type in Loshawn Parks. It'll all pop up with my channel, or Trucking with Loshawn Parks, or whatever. You'll see me there. You can also connect with me on Facebook. My name, Loshawn Parks. You can follow me on there. I think I got a couple of little friend spots left open, but it's after 5,000. I think they cut you out. Right. I'm almost at like 5,000, and plus I got like another 500 friend requests that's sitting in pending. Right. You know what I mean? So yeah, you could definitely follow me on Facebook. I do a posting on there. I talk a lot about sports. I'm a huge LSU football fan, so go Tigers. We just won the championship, so I was super geek for that.
No doubt. I seen the flags. I seen the flags outside the house and all that.
Yo, outside the house, inside the house, everywhere. It just looked like an LSU stadium.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah, but you can also catch me on IG. I need to start posting more on IG, but I do be on IG. I do a couple of IG lives where I come in, and that's actually on IG Live. That's where I come in and I do a lot of my motivational, inspirational lives there, and just give it raw, uncut, and just tell people, how I'm feeling about, whatever it is, and just try to feed raw, uncut motivation to you. You know what I mean? Some people will take it the wrong way, but if you're a strong individual, strong-minded, you're trying to be a strong entrepreneur, you're going to take the meat and spit out the bone.
No doubt. Well, thank you so much for this, man. I appreciate it. Definitely, y'all, make sure y'all check him out on YouTube. He gives out crazy game on YouTube. Yes. Check him out on IG, Mr. Loshawn Parks Motor Group. We appreciate you, man. Thank you, brother. And I'd love to go live with you too. Maybe sometime this week we gotta talk about that, because we like to get involved and get the Truck and Hustle audience and go live, ask some questions and all that. You know what I mean? If you be into that.
Yo, no doubt. Yeah, I got your contact, so we definitely gonna link. And it'd be my honor to bring you on. Like, honor.
No doubt, brother. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
All right, brother.
All right.
If you like what you heard, it's only going to get better. Make sure you subscribe and leave us a comment. Let us know what you want to learn or hear more about. Till next time, love is love. Truck and Hustle.